Hello, Dr. Jim Carlson. We're going to go over the sensitivities for case number 01906 as well. And the sensitivities look at the previous analysis showed that we did not have allergies, but we are sensitive. So sensitivities are consistent exposure. And if we look at consistent exposure, as long as we're exposed to the sensitivity, we can respond in a way that may show disease signs or also in relationship to behavior, a rash, etc. So if we can see info sensitivity screening by the group, and then we go into environmentals. This is a big file, so it says household chemicals. We were balanced, but then we notice fossil fuels. And we'll go into the details of fossil fuels as to what specifically we're sensitive to. But fossil fuels are anything like propane, natural gas, exhaust fumes from the gasoline in the cars, to diesel fumes from a truck. And even if some cats go into the garage, they may be exposed to petroleum products that are sensitive to them.
Or natural gas in the home.
And natural gas in the home, and it's usually something that's more problematic in the wintertime when we're closing the house up and we're running the heater, and less of a problem in the summertime. So can be cause for seasonal sensitivities and things like that. We also are sensitive to grasses because we're getting into environmental and then inhalants. And also the cacti and succulents. These are the broadleaf plants that we have in the household. Cats love plants, they love to be around them, they love to rub on them, and when they get the residue on their coat, then they ingest it by grooming themselves or just breathing it in. And so a couple of them specific to that were the century plants and bunny ears, but I look at all succulents as a possibility, even though we don't have a large list of exactly what plants Jelly Bean is sensitive to. As we get into the grasses, we get down to the vernal grass, which is outdoors, the oak grass, and then down here Kentucky bluegrass. You might ask, how can cats be sensitive to grasses if they stay indoors? Well, we bring the pollen in on our shoes and our clothing, and then the cats are exposed to that. So that can cause problems associated with sneezing, upper respiratory, stress, itchiness, things like that. There's always a question of foods, and we see that all the foods files that we went into were clean, so we don't have to worry about specifically foods. But since we're dealing with stress, a really good one would be the Calm diet from Royal Canin, and that has ingredients in it that you can feed that helps to relax the cats. And so that would be a good choice because we don't have any problems associated with what foods we're using.
It's not long term either, right? It's just 2 to 3 weeks.
Right, not long term. We just want to
heard really good things out of introducing new cats in homes with that diet. So,
yeah, great introduction period. And then we get into the specific fossil fuels. So we're getting kerosene, alcohol exhaust fumes, diesel exhaust, crude oil, diesel exhaust, coal dust, coal fumes, and those would be more specific to the garage or travel, where up here we see propane and natural gas we're okay on. So we're going to see less problems in the house and more problems outside of the house. So this, we probably won't see where Jelly Bean would be exposed to those things directly unless he goes in the car or travels on a trip and things like that. Okay.
There was one more medicine.
The other thing that we want to consider along with this for stress as well is going to be the Hampel drops. We talked a little bit about that earlier during the visit. And for stress, using 2 to 3 drops a day, we want to use that over the 3-month window as well. So we've got 3 areas to work on, and then we'll do the monthly progress reports. Thanks so much.